number 10, David Dobrik. After rising to fame on Vine, RIP, David Dobrik made his jump to YouTube and found a long success on the platform. Having amassed nearly 9 million subscribers, he's considered one of YouTube's top creators, but now because of a recent scandal, he's facing mass scrutiny, and this may play greatly into his career. Recently, people have come forward to address their grievances with David and his group of friends they call the Vlog Squad because of allegations made against them of bullying and misconduct. This started when one of the former Vlog Squad members, Seth Francois, came forward saying that he was assaulted by David Dobrik and Jason Nash because they played a prank on him that consisted of a kiss that he didn't consent to. Following Seth's allegation, another Vlog Squad member, Nick Kaswani, alleged that he was being bullied by the friend group, and just recently a young woman came forward saying that she had been assaulted by another member of the Vlog Squad after she and some friends went to the squad's home and were under the influence. She says that she has no recollection of what happened that night and that the events that happened that night ended up in some of David's vlogs. After these allegations, David's career may be in trouble. Though he works primarily on YouTube, he's also been hired to work on TV shows in host and judge positions, so this may do a lot of damage to his credibility. At number 9, Winston Marshall. Mumford & Sons musician Winston Marshall faced cancellation recently after he was called out for creating a book that, quote, condemns the destructive rise of Antifa. The guitarist was booted from the band because of this backlash and says that he's using this time off to, quote, examine his blind spots. This all went down after he tweeted the author of the book Unmasked inside Antifa's radical plan to destroy democracy, where he called him a brave man for publishing this and praised its content. This angered a lot of people and resulted in him facing mass scrutiny from many fans. After facing this backlash, Marshall tweeted a series of apologies to everyone he had offended, saying that he understands that people, including many of his bandmates, have been hurt by his comments, and also saying, quote, for now, please know that I realize my endorsements have the potential to be viewed as approvals of hateful, divisive behavior. I apologize, as this was not at all my intention. A close source of the band says that this bombshell greatly impacted the band, creating tension within the group. Since Winston has left the band, his career may never be the same. Before I continue, I would like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and also head on over to my gaming channel, Viper Girl, to check out some of the awesome series I've got going on over there. At number 8, Nikita Dragun. Have you heard of this new thing called COVID-19? Yeah, it's the newest, hottest thing sweeping the globe. This pandemic we've been living through is definitely not a new thing, and it has impacted the lives of every person on the planet, but no matter how many times people warn us to be cautious, there's always somebody to go completely against that. YouTuber/influencer Nikita Dragun seems to be one of those people. Not being COVID safe is a very unpopular thing, as going against the guidelines will get you canceled. When you throw a big party in the middle of a pandemic, you're bound to get backlash. Nikita Dragun recently faced backlash for having thrown a big, crowded birthday party for her 25th, and the events of the birthday bash were documented by a lot of influencers. According to footage from the party, there was no social distancing. In fact, there were people getting a little too close to each other. This isn't the first time Nikita has faced backlash for being unsafe during the pandemic, so since she relies on brand sponsorships and publicity deals with Hollywood, her dismissal of COVID guidelines might impact her greatly. At number 7, Anthony Mackie. Marvel actor Anthony Mackie, known for his role as the Falcon in the MCU, faced some internet backlash recently after being exposed in a resurfaced video. The video in question was a clip from an old Wendy Williams interview where he was heard saying that a woman's role was to, quote, make daddy a sandwich. This was in response to a conversation he and Wendy were having about gender roles, specifically in a relationship. Anthony also went on to defend this mentality, giving an example, saying, quote, you better believe it. So you make daddy a sandwich. If I'm outside cutting grass, bring daddy some lemonade. It's hot outside and I'm cutting all this grass. End quote. A lot of fans saw this as sexist and misogynistic and resulted in the cancellation of the actor on social media. Though I doubt he will lose his career over something like this, bad press is never good for a celebrity, so this could put a bit of a dent in his career. But then again, Hollywood is unpredictable, so you never really know. At number 6, KSI. Here's another YouTuber who found themselves in some hot water that might affect their career. People these days are becoming more aware of hate speech and slurs and will not hesitate to call someone out for anything they've said or done that can be seen as offensive. YouTuber and Logan Paul rival KSI faced backlash for using a transphobic slur in a livestream, and people have dubbed him as someone who is transphobic as a result. Throughout his career, people have picked out instances where KSI was offensive towards the trans community, and they've called him out asking for accountability, and when he's apologized, people see see it as insincere. People are really just asking him to educate himself and be better for his audience to promote a more inclusive platform. As people become more aware of their words and actions, there's a call for better inclusivity, and if KSI can't show his audience that he's fully inclusive, his career might be in trouble. At number 5, James Charles. YouTuber James Charles has been through his fair share of controversies. Being seen as one of the platform's most controversial creators because of how much internet drama he's been involved with, he's watched his popularity fluctuate over the past few years after facing so many scandals. Most recently, James faced backlash after allegedly soliciting private photos of a fan. The person who accused James of this behavior exposed the beauty YouTuber online, and the video was circulated on Twitter. The video was ultimately taken down for violating platform terms, but this didn't stop the criticisms towards James. This isn't the first time he's faced backlash for behavior similar to this, as back in 2019, YouTuber Taki Westbrook also made accusations of inappropriate behavior against James for similar actions. Because James has faced these kinds of allegations in the past, he might be losing credibility, and much like Nikita, he relies on sponsorships and partnerships, and Hollywood fuels his career, so this could greatly affect him. At number 4, Tekashi 69. Rapper Tekashi 69 has been very outspoken about the impact his recent prison time has had on his career. Recently, he was sent to prison and also made headlines for having turned on his gang in order to receive a reduced sentence. After being released from prison and releasing new music, Tekashi has said that he feels as though he's been blacklisted from the industry because his music wasn't being as shared as much as it used to be, even commenting on how his music was limited on streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. A recent documentary that was released about the rapper also didn't help with his public image, as it painted him in a negative light, saying that his attitude and negative actions are the reason why his career is dying, calling him a liar, a snitch, and even a monster because of allegations made against him. Because the time he's had after being released from prison has been spent trying to rebuild his career to no avail, it may be safe to say that he's been booted from Hollywood and the spotlight he used to own. At number 3, Shia LaBeouf. You've no doubt heard of Shia LaBeouf's controversy, but if not, here's a bit of a refresher. In December 2020, Shia was exposed for having allegedly abused his ex-girlfriend, FKA Twigs. The singer issued a lawsuit against him. Twigs recounted instances of violence against her as well as others, and this painted a bad picture of the former Disney star. In the past, Shia has made headlines for his unpleasant behavior, as many people have called him erratic and aggressive. Though people thought he was making a comeback to film after being cast in the movie Don't Worry Darling, he was ultimately recast because people on set clashed with the actor, and some said that he was very aggressive. So when Twigs came out with her allegations against him and her recounts of violent instances, people started to think that maybe he doesn't belong in Hollywood anymore. At number 2, Piers Morgan. The Meghan Markle and Prince Harry interview with Oprah was the biggest bombshell of the year so far. Secrets were revealed, tea was spilled, and it gave a lot of people a lot to talk about. One of the things that was said by Meghan Markle that was picked apart by a lot of people were her comments on her mental health before they split from the royal family. Meghan said that she felt really depressed and had thoughts of taking her own life. Broadcaster Piers Morgan picked this apart and said that in his opinion, he, quote, didn't believe a word that Meghan said. As a result, Piers and the network he worked for faced mass scrutiny for saying such a thing about someone's mental health, as it was seen as diminishing and deflecting the severity of such a thought as taking your own life. Because of the backlash he faced, Piers announced that he would be leaving the network, but that he still doesn't believe Meghan's claims, saying, quote, freedom of speech is a hill I'm happy to die on. Being that his career is in the media, this mentality as well as his comments on mental health can really destroy his career, and he may find it difficult to pick himself back up after this. And finally, at number 1, Gina Carano. Mandalorian star Gina Carano was recently fired from the Disney Plus series after facing a social media controversy. The actress faced backlash for making tweets comparing being a Republican to being Jewish during World War II, making claims of voter fraud following the 2020 US election, as well as making anti-mask posts. Because of fans' outrage at Gina's social media presence, Disney was forced to cut ties with the actress, saying that they do not condone these ideals. Because Disney is such a powerhouse in Hollywood, the fact that they fired her may have a big impact on her career going forward, making it so that no one would want to hire her because she's been shunned by such a big and credible company. On top of that, since these ideals she was sharing on social media angered a lot of people, this criticism could greatly impact her career, as her credibility and popularity could take a nosedive, as people might not want to support her after this scandal. At number 10, Armie Hammer. Armie Hammer made headlines early this year as some DMs were leaked on social media which showed Armie talking about his bedroom fantasies. Some of the things discussed in the messages were Armie's desire to eat someone, and some people, like ex-partners, have come forward with their personal accounts of Armie's fantasies. Because of this bombshell story, Armie has spent the last year losing work and watching his career fall to pieces. When the scandal first broke, he backed out of an upcoming film project alongside Jennifer Lopez in hopes to save his career, and he also dropped out of a series he was cast for Paramount Plus. Now he's out of work and he won't be finding any more anytime soon, as he's also been dropped by his agent and his personal publicist. Hollywood will definitely not be casting Armie in any upcoming productions unless he is able to rebuild his image after the scandal, and even then it'll take a lot of work to get back in Hollywood's good graces. At number 9, James Corden. This year, people learned that they not so secretly hate James Corden. The amount of times I saw James Corden trending on Twitter for people just talking about how much they hate him kind of says a lot about the actor and his place in Hollywood. The actor and late night host got in a lot of scandals this year, as I mentioned in one of our other videos, so another one in 2022 is probably a guarantee at this point, and that just means trouble for James's career. So far, James has faced backlash for his undermining of his employees at his late night show. He's faced backlash for the Spill Your Guts or Fill Your Guts segment, as well as he's been known to use traditional Asian foods as part of the gross foods category. On top of that, he's faced a lot of scrutiny for his Golden Globes nomination for his role in the movie Prom, where he played a gay character, because people thought that he used too many gay stereotypes in his performance. On top of that, a number of people who have worked with him or have had encounters with the host have made a lot of negative comments. About him, making him look like a pretty bad guy. The more bad press, the less people want to work with him, and because some fans have literally started making petitions to keep James out of certain big Hollywood productions, the executives might have to start listening to the fans and not hire James Corden. Before we carry on talking about the people Hollywood might not want to work with next year, why not take a moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Gina Carano. Up next, we have another celebrity who has faced a lot of backlash this year for old Twitter posts. Known for her role on the Disney Plus series The Mandalorian, actress Gina Carano began to face massive backlash for her social media posts that exposed her ideals and opinions that some people took offense to. Though there were a few posts that garnered a lot of negative attention, such as her comments on putting your pronouns in your social media bio, the one that was seemingly the last straw for her Disney career was a post that compared being a Republican to being a victim of the horrors of World War II, saying that Republicans are being persecuted because of their political beliefs. A lot of people took offense to this and led to more backlash and to her getting exposed for her unpopular opinions. Other posts that caused Gina to face scrutiny include her tweets about voter fraud in the US, as well as posts mocking people who wear masks amidst the pandemic. According to a source, the people behind the Mandalorian series had been looking for a reason to fire Gina because of her controversial social media presence, and so this exposure was allegedly the catalyst that led to them firing Gina from her role. Because of the nature of this scandal and the offensive things that were said, Gina might find it hard to find work in the new year if people still haven't forgiven or forgotten about her latest scandal. At number 7, Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake started facing a lot of backlash this year, with fans of Britney Spears flooding his social media pages and demanding that he apologize after the way he treated her in the media after their breakup in the early 2000s. The Framing Britney Spears documentary that was released looked into the way that the pop star was shown in the media, from the paparazzi to interviews, and it dives deep into how this stardom affected her. A big part of the documentary explores Justin Timberlake's role in the media's mistreatment of Britney after their public breakup in 2002. After their relationship ended, Justin made Britney look like the villain in the relationship, accusing her of cheating and essentially weaponizing their breakup to boost his own career. This prompted the media to put a lot of blame and shame on Britney, who really didn't deserve it. Now that fans in the media are revisiting Justin's actions, there are a number of people calling for accountability, and this could hurt his career. Because of all of the drama that Britney faced this year, and combined with people digging into her past, the fact that Justin played a role in the media's mistreatment of the pop star may hurt his career and might make it harder to find work in the new year. At number 6, Jamie Lynn Spears. Another person whose career may be damaged after this drama with Britney Spears is her sister, Jamie Lynn Spears, who got caught up in the scandal that was her sister's
conservatorship case. There was a lot of family drama involved, as you could imagine, and instead of laying low, she stepped into the spotlight, and doing that attracted a lot of hate towards her. Many of Britney's fans criticized Jamie for not standing up for her sister and watching her suffer through the conservatorship for so long. Things took such a nasty turn for Jamie that it's damaged her relationship with Britney, and now with the massive amount of support that Britney had garnered over the last few months, an enemy of Britney is an enemy for everyone. Britney's fans are watching her sister like a hawk, waiting for one wrong move in order to cancel her, and this bad press probably wouldn't make Hollywood executives want to hire her over fears of bad publicity. At number 5, Chris Pratt. It seems like Chris Pratt is having a hard time in the media lately. Chris has been making headlines recently because people want him to be canceled. First, back in 2020, people were upset with the actor because he didn't publicly support Joe Biden, and a lot of people also took to criticizing his Christian faith. Now, someone's faith is no reason to hate someone, I will say, that is just absurd, but it still had a lot of people going off at him. On top of that, just recently, Chris faced backlash after he posted about his wife Katherine Schwarzenegger and how she gave him a gorgeous, healthy daughter, end quote. This had people running to his ex Anna Faris to support her because fans believed that Chris's comment was a dig at the fact that their son Jack was born premature and had to spend time in the NICU before being allowed to go home after he was born. People called Chris out for his choice of words, and they're using this as further fuel to use against the actor. I feel like with this tension bubbling up, 2022 might be the year that Chris Pratt actually gets canceled, and this might have a very big impact on his career. At number 4, Lea Michele. TV and Broadway actress Lea Michele was canceled in 2020 after a bunch of people came forward to expose her for her awful on-set behavior, and apparently she still remains canceled. Reports and accusations came out last summer detailing how she'd been known to disrespect people she's worked with in the past, and this all started at the height of the Black Lives Matter movement, where one of Lea's former Glee co-stars, Samantha Ware, called Lea out on how the actress made her time on the show a quote, living hell. This ended up causing a chain reaction of other people coming forward to talk about their horror stories of working with the actress, with some revealing how she would disrespect and talk down to background actors on the set, how she would delay production, and how she would refuse to talk to anyone face to face, and how she would even force them to speak with her assistant instead. Because of all this negative attention, Lea was canceled, and as I mentioned before, that cancel status still sticks. Lea hasn't been able to bounce back from that drama that went down last year, so 2022 might be another rough year for the actress's career. At number 3, Chris D'Elia. Another celebrity who might have a hard time finding work in 2022 is actor and comedian Chris D'Elia. The comedian remains canceled after he faced multiple allegations of misconduct and harassing girls online last year, and this whole scandal caused him to be essentially fired from Hollywood. After multiple women came forward to share their unpleasant experiences with the comedian, from unwanted advances to indecent exposure and gaslighting, Chris was caught and exposed for his actions, lost all support and credibility in the industry, and pretty much hit rock bottom. Though this scandal initially started last year, Chris is still facing more allegations in 2021, and a lawsuit was filed in early March accusing Chris of soliciting private photos from a young woman under the age of 18. Though this happened in 2014 when she was 17, she said that she was inspired by the other women who've come forward to tell her story and seek justice. Because he's been dropped by his talent agency and he's lost out on a Netflix special, it might be safe to say that he won't be working in Hollywood again anytime soon. At number 2, Ellen DeGeneres. Though many of us know Ellen DeGeneres as the famed talk show host, she is also an actress, having starred in her own comedy show as well as voicing Dory in Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. She certainly fits the criteria for this list, both for her work and for being canceled. Last year, Ellen was exposed for creating a toxic work environment on The Ellen Show, and she was the recipient of a lot of negative attention and backlash in 2020. Rumors started circulating about Ellen not being as nice as she's portrayed as on TV, and soon former employees started coming forward with their own horror stories about Ellen and the work environment that they had to deal with. There were allegations of racial microaggressions, discrimination, and harassment on the part of Ellen as well as other higher-ups in the company. For months, Ellen was being exposed for her toxic behavior, and she faced a lot of flack for it, having to issue multiple apologies to make up for things. Stars who had been on The Ellen Show in the past came forward to talk about their experiences with the comedian, and many interviews were being picked apart by people online, digging up moments that show Ellen in a negative light. Basically, Ellen got exposed to the max and she lost credibility, her show tanked, and now it's ending. And because of all this, no one knows what the future holds for Ellen. And finally, at number 1, Shia LaBeouf. From what we've seen in the news over the years and from what we've heard from other celebrities, I think it's safe to say that Shia LaBeouf isn't doing too great in Hollywood right now. There are a lot of people who are still fans of the actor, but after hearing about his questionable and sometimes downright disrespectful actions, idolizing Shia probably isn't the greatest thing. He is someone who's faced a lot of allegations as of late. Last year, Shia faced allegations from his ex-girlfriend FKA Twigs after she filed a lawsuit against him detailing some of the encounters that she had with him. Twigs alleged that he threatened to crash a car with her in it if she didn't profess her love for him, and claimed that he would sometimes grab her so hard that she would bruise. Even singer Sia came forward with her own allegations against the actor, saying that she too had been emotionally damaged by Shia. On top of that, he was fired by Olivia Wilde from the upcoming film Don't Worry Darling, due to his alleged bad behavior, as people have cited that Shia is, quote, not an easy guy to work with. Because of all this bad press, I think it'll be tough for Shia to find work in Hollywood next year.